Daniel Kelly, special to the Washington Post. The simple approach to Week 17 is that there are two types of NFL teams: those that have something to play for and those that don't. I prefer to look at it as three types, though. Those that have something to play for, those that have nothing to play for and no reason to push it, and those that have nothing to play for but have reason to put people to work. For example, at 5 to 10, the 49ers don't really have anything to play for this week, and they're facing the Rams, who are only playing for third or fourth in the NFC. Theoretically, San Francisco could rest anybody important and call it a year, but in reality, the 49ers are closing the season on a 5-game winning streak under the leadership of Jimmy Garoppolo, and finishing with back-to-back wins over the Jaguars and Rams would be huge for a franchise whose rebuild has been jump-started by the arrival of the ex-Patriots quarterback. I think the 49ers will play all out in Week 17, so this week's look at the best and worst fantasy situations at every position will take those three types of teams into account: which teams have games that matter, which don't, and which will press their players into service even if it doesn't matter. That's what I'm looking for, primarily for DFS purposes, using the Pro Football Focus exclusive stats and data to inform the decision. Good situations: quarterback Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Nick Foles number 9 launches a long pass for a first down late in the game as Denver Broncos lose 51-23 to the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. November 5, 2017 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Nick Foles, Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles fall into that extra situation. They are locked into the NFC's top seed, with nothing that can change in Week 17 other than the doesn't really exist anyway concept of momentum. But the flip side is that the Eagles have not looked great since Carson Wentz went down in Week 14. Foles looked passable, pardon the pun, in Week 15. But Monday night against the Raiders, he scarcely could have looked worse, grading out at 34.2. That's the 6th worst grade for any NFL starting QB all year. With Wentz out, if the Eagles want to make any movement in the playoffs, they'll need the Foles of Week 15, and likely more than that. Letting him sit a game out isn't going to accomplish much. I expect the Eagles to let Foles try to make some positive strides against a Dallas defense that has allowed multiple passing touchdowns in 8 of its last 9 games. Running back Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans. The situation is pretty simple for the Titans in Week 17. Beat a Jacksonville team that has nothing to play for other than confidence after a bad Week 16, and they're in the playoffs. Say what you will about the quality of the Titans as a playoff team, but if they win, they're in. And with DeMarco Murray likely out for Week 17 with a knee injury, Henry will get as much run as he's capable of. The Jaguars' run defense has turned things around since looking like a reverse funnel early in the season, only allowing 100-plus rushing yards to opponents' backs twice since Week 6. But Henry should be fine to compile quantity even if he struggles with quality. Brandon Oliver, Los Angeles Chargers. The Jaguars having nothing to play for makes it that much tougher for the Chargers to complete their comeback from an 0-4 start to the playoffs. They have a couple possible roads to the playoffs, but every path starts with the Chargers winning in Week 17 and the Titans losing. The matchups would make sense, but with the Jaguars perhaps taking it easy, it's rough. Also complicating factors is the possible absence of Melvin Gordon, who hurt his ankle in Week 16. With Austin Ekeler also hurt, Oliver would be next man up. Oliver hasn't gotten starter-level usage since he sporadically took over as a 2014 rookie, but when he did, he had 200-yard rushing games and 4 touchdowns, and was at least fantasy relevant. The Raiders have allowed 4 rushing touchdowns to running backs in their last 4 games, and with the Chargers going all out Sunday, Oliver would have ample opportunity at a cheap DFS price. Wide receiver Doug Baldwin, Seattle Seahawks. The last time the Seahawks played the Cardinals, Baldwin put up 95 yards, his 3rd highest yardage total of the season. Patrick Peterson didn't shadow Tyler Lockett or Paul Richardson last time these two faced off, and likely won't this time, but with Baldwin spending most of his time in the slot,